Every doctor has said that you're going to live with this for the rest of your life. They gave you a pack of pills and said, just take these for the rest of your life. If you don't accept that this is your reality, if you don't think that this is the end, you should watch this video to the end, because this is how I removed what I had for 5 years, forever. And even when it came back a couple of years later, I used the same technique that takes 15 minutes to remove my back pain. And I'm not going to say it's easy, but if you're like me, you're probably already gone to all the massage, the chiropractors, the doctors, even the people who will help you get workouts in or stretches in, and nothing works. And maybe you feel like you're destined now for life, that your back pain or your shoulder pain or wherever pain sits is not going to go away. And they said that it's this thing that you have, or it's this thing that you have, and you kind of just maybe accepted it in some part. But because you're on this video, you know that you haven't accepted it, that you know that there's another way. And I'm going to tell you what this way is and how I've used these 3 simple steps. My back pain came from a surgery that I had on my chest, and my recovery didn't go as planned. So I was in bed for a long time, and lying on this bed almost 24 hours a day, my back just started to hurt, and it just continued. And many years later, every time I would stand up, my back would start to swell. Every time I would do anything with my hands, my back would start to swell up, and it was just so painful. And all I had was just these muscle relaxing pills that the doctor gave me and said that, like, there's nothing else we can do. There's nothing on the x-ray. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just like you have this pain and probably not going to go away. We tested everything. You tried. You went to this doctor and this doctor and this doctor, and nothing is actually helping. So I already kind of accepted it, gave up, and every time that I had to cook food, I just knew that, okay, I can just take some pills when I cook food or when I do something with my hands. Anyways, to just fast forward until the day that I lost the pain for the first time. That was in Bali when I was meeting my friend, who's an absolutely amazing energy healer. But I thought this was the craziest shit. It was the most woo-woo thing that I ever heard about, but I trust my friend. And she said, oh yeah, let's just try. I think I can remove your back pain. And I'm like, yeah, sure, you can do that. And anyways, I laid down. She did her stuff. And after 15 minutes, I didn't get my pain back after 1.5 years. Not one single occasion. Just one time, which was a couple of days after the session with my friend. And I thought, okay, yeah, this didn't work. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna prove to her that it didn't work, because I didn't fully believe it. But anyways, I thought that energy healing was a little bit too woo-woo, and how could this even work? Because I was waking up, I was cooking food, I was doing things with my hands, and I didn't get my back to swell up. And I was so confused and frustrated, but also I've read in the old text that, okay, yeah, energy healing is real, but the science to it is a bit weird. But it wasn't until I started understanding what energy means for me in a more simple way that is not too much out there. And also, if anyone wants to work with my friend, I will just put her Instagram in the description below. This was energy healing. What is energy? Energy for me is emotion. So it's actually emotional healing that we've done. But what does that mean? Well, I started doing the studies and I started researching this, because 1.5 years later, I got some back pain coming back. And this was after a lot of physical labor, and I was like, oh shit, I'm done. It's back. This is not fun. And the only thing I was thinking about, again, I was like, okay, I'll stretch, I will work out, I will go and massage, and I will fix it like this. And again, it didn't work, of course. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, what if it's just emotion? And I saw some science behind it. And the research said that emotions can actually shift the muscles, the fascia, the blood flow. So the muscles can tighten up from emotions, from stress. Stress is created from negative emotions. And then we have what's the most important thing, because when we have many people who have chronic pain, it's often not even in a logical place. It's not like in a muscle that the muscle is inflamed, but it's actually around the muscle. So it's in the fascia, the connecting link between the muscles. And what's interesting with that, fascia is the thing that is the most sensitive to stress, and that can create pain in the body. So this is where I'm coming back to the story about my friend, is that What we actually probably did is, if you call it energy, if you call it emotion, doesn't matter. But what we did was release that emotion, so the fascia actually started to soften up and the pain was not there anymore. Before we go into the 3 steps that I'm going to teach you, there's also a guy who's called Dr. John Sarno. I'm just going to read this here because I cannot pronounce it. He came up with a thing called tension myoneural syndrome. So what he did was that he showed that pain in the body was measurable when you had unresolved emotion. That pain in your body can come from unresolved emotions. And this is what we're going into right now. I told you my back pain came back. And all I did was a 10-minute visualization where I asked my body and I asked my pain what was the unresolved conflict. Or was it that I hadn't been taken care of right now? So what we're trying to do with this process is, number 1, to release emotions and to understand which emotion is stuck in your body. So if you can create and release those negative emotions, when emotions are felt, when you actively work with your emotions and you express them and you feel them, then you can release the emotions from your body. So it doesn't have to add up. It doesn't have to make your fascia harden or your blood flow lessen. It can actually just go away. And it's going to be okay in your body. When they are suppressed, it can actually become chronic pain in your body. Even if you feel like there's something else, it could be emotions. And if nothing else has worked, these 3 steps might actually do. So visualization is focused attention. And what I want you to do now, start by relaxing your body. I'm just going to walk you through the steps. But essentially what you need to do is, before anything else, is to relax your body. You need to relax everything as much as you can. Your nervous system has to be relaxed if you're going to make any change in your body. So just relax your body as much as you can and just take a few deep breaths. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, like this. Now, just fully relaxing your body. Just like that. So do that 5 to 10 times until you feel super, 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 super relaxed. And then the first part of this visualization, and everything is in your imagination, it's inside your mind that you're gonna. First step is to understand the emotion, understanding the pain. So what I want you to do then is to close your eyes and start to feel the pain, and really feel the pain where it is. Feel it where it sits in your body, if it's in your back. Try to just mark it with your mind. Maybe that's probably very easy for you to do right now. And just relaxing and breathing into it. And now, I want you to make it a color. And I also want you to create a shape of it. Maybe it's flowing, maybe it's moving, maybe it's dark, maybe it's light. But for me, it's often a dark, moving, hard thing that's just moving in my body. I just want you to visualize it. It's a little bit weird, but it's easy to just see the pain as something separate from you. That's what we're trying to do. So separate the pain from who you are. It's not your pain. It's a pain. And you're going to get rid of it now. It's not part of you anymore. So first of all, just start relaxing into the pain and ask the pain, is there anything that I should be doing, but I am not? Is there anything that I'm avoiding in my life? And just sit with these questions as long as you need, and then ask yourself the final question, which is there anything that this pain wants me to know? Is there anything you want to tell me? And the pain that I had in my body, it was telling me that I wasn't paying attention to my financial health. And the second that I felt it, I could feel that it hit the spot. I could feel that, okay, there's something there. There's something I'm tightening my body up for. Maybe it's unmet potential. Maybe it's that you haven't done the things in your life that you wanted to do. Maybe it's that you feel like your potential is so much bigger, but you're not doing anything. Maybe it was a missed opportunity. Maybe it was something that you just wish that you did. But just understanding that it's not too late yet. Okay, so the second part of this practice is to start to visualizing this pain. Again, seeing it as a color, seeing it as a shape moving inside your body. And then what I want you to do is really just breathing. And for every out breath, just letting a super small part of this pain go. Just letting go out through your mouth. And in comes healing, peace, pleasure. Because the opposite of the feeling of pain is pleasure or peace. So just breathing in peace and out with the emotion of pain. And once you realize that this is just an emotion that is produced by your brain. Because if you go to the doctor and you want to do a surgery and you don't want to sleep, they will give you an injection and you won't feel anything there. Even if they start to cut up your skin, there's no pain because they're blocking the signals. So what you're doing when you're releasing this pain, which we're going to go to the third step, what you're doing when you're releasing this pain is actually reclaiming a part of the power that you have over your own pain, reclaiming a part of the power and building the belief that you can actually change just a little bit of the pain yourself. And then we get to the third step. And again, this is a practice that you should do until it works. This worked for me in 10 minutes. This might not work for you for a week, but if you practice visualization and you learn how to visualize so you can really see it in your mind and really feel the emotion of pleasure, of peace, then you can create that possibility, that possible future in your mind, and then it will manifest into your life. So the third step, starting to visualize yourself without the pain. So it's about seeing yourself doing something without the pain and creating the emotion of pleasure or of peace while doing it. So the way I did it was I was sitting up and I had this back pain and I was just visualizing myself sitting at a different environment in my bed without the pain. Why do we want to do this? We want to show ourselves and our body, our subconscious mind, that there is a possibility without pain. Because if we can understand that there is a possibility without pain, then we can create that possibility. Because again, it's just signals from your brain. So what you're actually doing when you visualize is reprogramming your mind to remove the pain, to not have the pain, to not send the signals of the pain. So you just want to practice, and this is where it gets hard. It's because you're focusing so much on the pain, and every time you focus on the pain, every time you visualize the pain, every time you feel the pain, you reinforce the pain. So the more you can focus on being pain-free, being painless, the easier it's going to be without the pain. But if you can't even imagine a possibility without the pain, there's never going to be able to do it. So what actually happens is, number one, you understand the emotion. Number two is that you release the emotion. And number three is you're creating a new reality in your mind where you don't have the pain. So this is the full practice. And if you do this right, it can literally be gone at the end of the day. If you feel frustrated, if you feel like nothing is working, feel free to join the More to Life community where there's a free visualization course and ask me any questions.